In today's episode of Getting Geeky with Game Relief, I sit down with Michael and Austin from Legends of Ravenhall to see if they're headhunters or game designers and see what they have on Kickstarter. Then the usual, but first a message about our sponsors. This episode of Getting Geeky with Game Relief is proudly being powered by Torres Games, who are bringing Serpent Master back to Kickstarter the first of next month. Serpent Master is a card-driven abstract board game for 1 to 4 players where a player must keep their serpent on top to win. Plus, they're doing a giveaway with us, or a few of them in fact, over there at thegiveawaygeek.com. Enter today and back their Kickstarter on the 1st of August.
Getting Geeky with Gamer Leaf, the podcast in which one man strives to level up his geekhood and helping you do the same, one battle at a time. Now, let's get geeky with Gamer Leaf.
Welcome to Getting Geeky with Game Relief. Today we're pleased to be joined by the creators and masterminds of a game, or maybe they're actual headhunters, but the game in question is Headhunter, Hilarious Hires from History, the 2nd edition, and today we're lucky enough to be joined by some of the creators and masterminds behind this game. Is that right? Is that how you fall in line with Headhunter, Austin, and was it Michael?
Yes.
Yep.
Hey, well, welcome. Hey, thanks for inviting us.
No problem. Thank you so much for joining us on Getting Geeky with Game Relief. We really appreciate it.
We're excited about it.
Yeah, thanks for having us on.
Yeah, no problem at all. Now, before we jump into your game and everything, let's rewind a little bit if we could. Maybe you guys can do a brief introduction to yourselves and tell them who's talking when they're talking, and then how you got into playing tabletop board games.
Well, sure, I'll begin. This is Mike, or Michael Rice, and our family has for years played games. We've just enjoyed games as a thing to do as a family. And so the idea of eventually designing games was very organic. It just was a natural outgrowth of just the things we would do anyway. Not only do we just personally enjoy games and have found that there's a lot of value on many levels to the games, whether it's in terms of bonding or fellowship or intellectual development or just pure fun. But also, when you look at social psychology and some family dynamic studies, you find that the families who have activities together, who play games together, always have far fewer incidents of dysfunction. And so, whether it's religiously, socially, psychologically, there are a lot of different benefits to just a family being together and playing games. So from that broad perspective, we just started just playing around, designing some games just for fun. And eventually we refined that and took that a little bit more seriously. And then Austin has had several specific game designs, and he can probably fill you in on his background as far as, coming up with the idea for this particular game.
Awesome. And what are you playing these days, Michael? What kind of games?
What we're playing, well, we play test or test play a lot of games for a lot of other developers just as favors and for curiosity and fun.
Sure.
We play a wide variety of games. And then Austin, he's like a game master himself. Austin, you want to jump in on that?
Well, yeah, we play a lot of games. We're really big into helping a lot of Kickstarter games. The Primary, Tiny Ninjas, Portals and Profits, games like that. We like helping other people with their game development as well. But of course, mainstream games are ones you've heard of. Quite a variety, from party family games, Apples to Apples, Monopoly, all the way to Scythe or Catan or Pandemic. It's just quite a variety. It just depends on the group, the time you have, what kind of mood you're in.
Yeah, most definitely. I hear you there. And word on the street is you guys have a new game on Kickstarter. What can you tell us about Headhunter, Hilarious Hires from History?
Well, Headhunter is Very similar to it's a social judgment game, party game. So it's similar to like an apples to apples or Cards Against Humanity type of a feel, where one person is judging or selecting from amongst quite a number of cards or people to choose from. In this case, the headhunter is the one choosing or hiring a position, and there's lots of candidates to choose from. But in this case, the candidates are historical figures. Um, Also, there's quite a number of twists, though, compared to your normal similar varieties like apples, which would be instead of just selecting one person, potentially it could be one, two, or three, or four, depending on a die roll or some variance during the game, to mix up your options and your strategy, as well as the values to each win could be different because everyone will also be awarded a salary. So you might win three or get three of your characters hired, but they might be for a lot less value than one of your other characters who might be hired for a lot more. So it's similar, but it's also different in a number of ways.
Okay, so if I understand correctly, am I trying to, I have certain characters and I want to get them hired, or do I want to make my own company and hire certain characters, or what am I doing exactly?
Well, you'll be a headhunter who has a number of characters that need jobs. So, for example, you'll have a hand that might be George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, or Joseph Stalin, or Plato, or whatever, whoever it might be. You have a hand, and these guys need to get jobs. So, whoever's turn it is to hire, they might be looking for a what's a good one? A test pilot. Yeah, that's a good one. So they might be hiring, they'll roll and they'll find out. They might be hiring 2 test pilots. So everybody looks at their hand. I'm like, should George Washington, would he be a better test pilot, or would Abraham Lincoln? You know what? I think Joseph Stalin will be a great test pilot because if he goes, I think we're okay. So then you put on all your people and you find out if you get hired or not.
Okay, and I'm up against other people. So is it whoever has the best role, or how does that determine if I get hired or not?
Well, the employer will be the sole arbiter of who they want to hire, and so let's say there are 5 people playing the game. One is the employer at that particular time, and then the 4 others are headhunters representing their book of business or their different clients. And someone might have Amelia Earhart or Cleopatra or whomever, and there may be, and by a turn of the card, you're selecting what the job is that is going to be filled, and you'll look at your hands, and sometimes one of your candidates is literally well qualified for that job, and sometimes they are ridiculously, comically not qualified for the job, and so just for the goofiness, you might put down, Stalin for a babysitter or whatever. Just to be silly. And so the employer will determine, based on the roll of the die, it's a 1, 2, 2, 3 dice that we designed, but he or she will decide, okay, based on, I have to hire 3 according to this roll. So I'll just choose of my own decision which of these 3. Now everyone can argue or try to persuade or whatever. And in that conversation is where you get a lot of hilarious, desperate, or creative attempts to persuade the employer. But the employer decides who they're going to hire and who they're rejecting, and will award a salary, which is determined by the card as well, and hand those salaries out to everybody. So we have had this tested by a variety of people, different ages, genders, different backgrounds, people that we knew and did not know,
different
states, and so on. It comes across as a very easy game to play, and it's very fun because you can be as silly or as historical as you want to be.
Yeah, it sounds like it. So what are some of the most hilarious hires you guys have seen since playtesting it?
Well, the one classic is always having, you're trying to hire a marriage counselor, and you got Henry VIII. That's always a pretty funny one. Because one thing specific here is on the character cards, because some people you may have heard of and some people you may not have heard of. It's also a learning experience, right? So on all the cards, you have the person's name, but also some things that they did, attributes, and a quote, and some dates of when they were alive. So you kind of get a feel for who this person is. So in this case, Henry VIII's quote, and I don't remember it off the top of my head, but it's something like, 2 beheadings and 6 wives is too many. And so it's kind of funny if you're hiring him as a marriage counselor for obvious reasons, I would hope.
Yeah, these are each of these little character cards is essentially like a little 2 square-inch resume that is based on its actual historical data with what their achievements were, what a real quote from them, and so on. So it's accurate. It's just in a silly context.
I like what I hear so far. It sounds pretty fun. So how do I determine if I win? Like, does the person doing the hiring, I forget what you call them, the employer or whatnot, whoever does the hiring, there's a judge or whatever, and they determine who wins, or does that go around the table and everybody gets a chance?
Yeah, so you're right in both accounts. The employer determines who wins each round or each hand, and everyone around the table takes turns being that employer or choosing twice. So during the game, you go around twice, and you all accumulate all your salaries. So at the end of the game, after 2 rounds, whoever has the most money that they've been able to hire people for, or whoever's earned the most salaries at the end, they win, ultimately.
Okay, cool. Now, this isn't the first time on Kickstarter. What have you changed since the last time you tried Kickstarter out?
You're exactly right. And we had originally launched on Kickstarter, I don't remember, 6 or 8 weeks ago or something like that.
Yeah.
And with the original version of the game. And then we were, long story short, approached by a private investor who just wanted to basically fund the production of the entire lot. And so we felt like it would not be appropriate to continue that campaign when we had that investor. So what we're doing now is a more specific, limited campaign for the second edition. The things that we're doing there for the second edition include enhanced artwork, more cards, a larger box,
the rewards we were able to increase.
Yeah, we maintained and increased the rewards that we were offering to the original supporters, and we're getting more backer interactivity as far as selecting some of the additional characters that we're adding to the game. So we're enhancing it by adding more and with more art and options.
So that's pretty cool. Yeah, and how did that work out? The investor just approached you, somebody liked what they saw and just decided they wanted to do it?
Yeah, basically.
yeah, that was pretty much
just
it.
Say, hey, tell me what you need.
Well, there you go. That's always nice. And word on the street is you're doing a giveaway with us over at our other site, thegiveawaygeek.com. What can somebody win if they go ahead and enter that?
Well, on Giveaway Geek, you'll be winning a 1 copy of Headhunter, Hilarious Hires from History, 2nd edition. And it'll be the same one anyone would get on Kickstarter, so it's the full 2nd edition. And if we happen to hit any stretch goals or all those extra cards and that extra artwork, you'll get the whole thing, the whole package there.
Okay, and anybody listening, depending on when this goes live or whatnot, that should be up shortly there after the episode or whatnot within the next couple of days, so hopefully. So yeah, go ahead and make sure you jump on over and check out the Kickstarter as well as enter the giveaway, and you're really close to being funded. Now, when it comes to Headhunter Hilarious Hires from History, the 2nd edition, what makes your game pop is when my audience should go check out the Kickstarter, and if they like what they see, back it today.
Well, I think that it is first of all, it's a unique, if you look at the different options that are out there right now, this is a unique offering. And not only does it combine some learning elements, and there is actual, historical learning that's associated with it, but it's not really designed to be hitting you over the head as an educational game.
It's secretly educational.
It sneaks up on you. So it is educational, but it's just simply an easy to learn, replayable family or party game that's not overwhelming. It's not going to take you an hour to figure out how to play it. It's just something fun to do for a little while, and then you don't have to be stuck in the playing for a few hours. If you don't have that time and you have 35 minutes, it's amenable to as much or as little as you want. So it's fun and flexible, and it's the only thing of its kind out there right now.
Do you have anything to add for us, Austin, on why they should back Headhunter?
Well, pretty much hit all the main topics there. It is educational if you want it to be, or it's just fun and whimsical if you want it to be. You can make it a long game or a short game. It's great for a party setting, a family setting, easy to learn and pick up. And if you like small companies or if you just like helping with startup game companies, then that fits right into that bill as well.
Yeah, that ethos would be cool.
Yeah.
And, we've tried to make the rewards, we've tried to really appreciate the backers and give some proportionately generous rewards, considering that we're all just in this together, helping each other.
That is cool when you look at some of the rewards, because most of the reward options will allow custom character cards, so you can make yourself a card in your own edition of the game if you wish.
Now, are those blank cards, or what are those exactly?
No, we'll produce them for you, and it'll be a custom card of you or of whomever, your son or your girlfriend or whatever. So the rewards include the backers themselves being some of the characters. We're trying to make this really part of, everyone's in on it. Everyone is very interactive, and the backers, we're all a team. Everyone's on the team together. So you can have your own custom cards for yourself. And at the higher level, we would even do a custom artwork caricature of you. And it would be on the box of yet another edition called Makers of History. So we're trying a variety of fun things, including a launch party that the backers can be invited to and so on. We're trying to make it fun for the backers to be part of the team.
Oh, okay, that's always good. Yeah, because I see here, even as low as $30, you can get custom cards or whatnot. Is that right?
That's correct.
Yes.
Okay, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, usually you have to go up to higher levels to be able to do that, so that's awesome. Now, mine is coming to we don't want to keep you guys all night, so mine is coming to your hometown to stalk you. How can people go about keeping up with you and everything you're doing over there at Legends of Ravenhall?
Well, of course, legendsofravenhall.com, our website. We got a newsletter, and we post things on our blog there. Of course, we're on Facebook. Legends of Ravenhall can be found on Facebook, on Twitter, or Instagram. Or, of course, just off the Kickstarter page. If you're a backer, you will get all the updates. Even if you only back $1, you'll still get all the updates.
Okay, and we'll make sure we leave all those links in the show notes so they can go ahead and jump on over and get a hold of you that way. Speaking of keeping up with you, I know right now we're focused on getting this one funded, but somebody listening later on down the road, is there any secrets in your back pocket of stuff you might be working on later on down the road?
Yeah, we've got right now, realistically, 4 or 5 others in the pipeline that are going to be very cool. I don't know what all to say about it yet, but there's a wide variety. Some are more of the heavier strategy games, and some are kind of a mystery type of a game, and some are more card type of game. So we've got a little bit of everything. Plus, we have custom dice that we have designed and produced that include the something perfect for math geeks and statisticians, Citroen dice. And we've done some design work that for the new dice where we've redesigned the way that the pip is constructed and the polished beveled edge of the die so that it's neither rounded nor squared. So we've got some dice coming out and a few other game designs that are in different levels of design right now. So we'll have a number of other things coming out over the next several months.
Okay, yeah, so make sure you're following them along on those social media sites as well as their website, and most especially, make sure if you like what you see or hear, make sure you go ahead and jump on over and back their Kickstarter, even if it's just at $1 so you can get all those updates and whatnot. But yeah, like I said, we don't want to keep you guys all night, but we really appreciate you coming on, getting geeky with Game Relief with us to talk all about Headhunter, hilarious hires from history that'll be on Kickstarter through September 11th. We really appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks very much.
No problem. Wow, that sounds like the game I want to play. If you feel the same way, make sure you head on over and check out their Kickstarter and back it today so we can make this game a reality. Now, let's go ahead and dive into Kickstarter Corner with none other than our favorite Batterina Leaf. Where are we going, Batterina? Kickstarter Corner! The king has gone mad. Well, madder. He's throwing people into the dungeon left and right to try to uncover the conspiracy to unseat him that surely exists. As his favored crew of dungeon keepers, torturers, and psychopaths, your job is to turn the screws on these unfortunate yokels and get them to confess. The best torturer will be awarded the title of head warden, and the rest, well, best not to think about it. Did that sound familiar to you? Well, good thing I'm here then. It's a story of Talk, You Fiend. Talk, You Fiend is an easy to learn, blind action game for 3 to 6 people, with an average playtime of 30 to 45 minutes. Apply a bit of pressure, or a lot, we won't judge ya, and outsmart your fellow jailers to score prisoners, and leave your opponents with the stinging shame of failure. Collect sets of prisoners to score points, avoid shame and demotion, and gift your friends with the worst known liars in the kingdom. Talk, You Fiend is a torturously fun time for ages 10 and up. A few important points the guys over at Stone Bones Games wanted me to bring up to you for sure is that Talk, You Fiend is a game that is easy to set up and start playing. Rules are simple to explain. That sounds like my kind of game. You know how much I detest learning new games, or have a hard time with it at least. So that sounds pretty cool. And then next they said, it's a great way to start off or wind down a game night. Somewhat light game, but with a little bit of strategy involved, if you take the time to really think about it. Oh boy, this is what we need. Another game my wife can beat me at. But I like to play games, so this really looks like a great game for us. Last but not least, what the great designers over there at Stone Bones Games had to say was its whimsical setting and art. You are playing as a dungeon keeper and just trying to do your job. The best to get that promotion. So, what do you think? You're not sure? You don't want to make a decision yet? Well, don't fret. Next week on Getting Geeky with Gamer Leaf, we're going to have the designer and publisher on our show to talk all about Talk, You Fiend and why you should add it to your collection. So make sure you subscribe to Getting Geeky with Gamer Leaf so you never miss an episode. Make sure to head on over to their Kickstarter page in our show notes so you can become the best torturer in your game group. With Talk, You Fiend, back it on Kickstarter today, and make sure you catch my interview with the creators. We'll see if they can make me talk. Begin your journey as one of the 5 basic classes and battle your way through a branching campaign where you choose your own path in an attempt to overthrow the evil queen, Domine. With each encounter, you will level up and unlock over 15 elite classes, adding new actions, equipment, and abilities. Will your team find the right combination of classes and powers in time to stop Queen Domine? Let the adventure begin. Sound familiar to you? Well, good thing I'm here. This is Adventure Tactics Domine's Tower. It's an encounter-based, campaign-driven, cooperative deck builder. You know, Gamer Leaf loves deck builders. That launched to Kickstarter on the 29th of July, as well as blew past their almost $30,000 funding goal on the same day. This isn't your everyday board game that looks like an RPG, as you don't have to stay stuck in the same class over and over again, but you still get the benefits of the previous class. But I'll let the game's designer tell you more about that. Make sure you catch my sit down with Nick, the designer. Sure to hit your favorite podcasting app on Thursday, the 1st of August. So make sure you subscribe to Getting Geeky with Gamer Leaf, where you catch your favorite podcasts. And if this is after the 1st of August, make sure you come back so you don't miss out on the adventure. Back Adventure Tactics today. If you liked any of the games we talked about in today's episode, make sure you check out their Kickstarter campaigns to show them and us a little love. Backing them goes a long way. Plus, make sure to stay up to date on all the giveaways we're doing over at thegiveawaygeek.com. There will be at least 2 to 3 new giveaways going live over there next week. It's our least favorite time as well as yours, so until next episode, make sure you go ahead and get geeky, stay geeky, and bring others in the geek fold by sharing our episodes with others, as well as keeping up with the giveaways we're doing over at thegiveawaygeek.com. Gamer Leaf out.
Gamer Leaf levels up. Tune in next week to see if Gamer Leaf's luck holds up.